Hi guys, it's Jan with remarkablycreated.com. I am excited to show you today's projects. Today we are going to be working with the Label Me Pretty stamp set. Lots and lots of pretty features in that, and I'm going to show you a fun trick that I figured out with this element in particular. And what's really cool about this stamp set is that it has this coordinating bundle here. You can see me. Look at that. Oh, that's kind of fun. But it's got this amazing coordinating bundle. So I'm going to start first by showing you some cards to kind of get you all expired. I hope we don't expire during this show. But to get you all inspired. Hi, Linda. Welcome. And then what we'll do is I have 5 cards that we're going to make together. So let's take a look first at all of the cards that I have to inspire you, not expire you. I know it's kind of late on Sunday night for some of you. Hi, Kelly. Welcome. The first couple of cards, the first 3 cards that I have to show you are from swaps. Demonstrators participate in swaps, and I know I've explained them a few times, but just as a real quick review, the way that a swap works is that we pick a theme. There's a swap coordinator who kind of decides how many cards, the due date, all of that kind of stuff, and any fine details. And then you make 20 of one design, send them in, and get a bunch back. That's the way that it works. It's a really cool way of going. So the first 3 cards, hey everyone, welcome, that I'm going to show you are from the swap. So there's a beautiful card there. Happy Birthday, done by Jennifer Hill. Love that little touch of the wood paper in that one. So pretty. So then here is another one. And this is a unique way of using that label stamp set. It's punched out of the top cardstock. And then the thank you. And this one is, who did this one? Peggy Merwin. So that's Peggy's card from a swap recently. And then this card by Susan Leggetts or Leggetts. I'm not sure if it's a hard G or a soft G. But again, just a nice pull of the colors. So then these are some of the ones that I made, and we'll show them to you. So this is one of the Hostess sets. You guys really need to see this. The Hostess sets this year are amazing. So when you get the new catalogs, make sure you turn to that section. Absolutely beautiful. And this is the Powder Pink and the Berry Blast, and then Old Olive as your color combination for that one. This one here, of course, I had to get Lemon Lime Twist in there. It uses a new greeting set. And then just a small touch of that stamp set and black. I love black and the Lemon Lime Twist together. I just think that they're 2 powerful colors playing off of each other. Hi, Miss Sharon. Then we have this just simple, elegant little card using the daisy paper. And then the thank you stamp is one of the greetings that's in that stamp set. You gotta love the daisy punch. This is actually 3 of the punches layered together to make a really full flower. This one here, very, very simple, elegant card. Just the blue paper from the daisy punched, and then underneath you have the birthday colored in. So nice and simple. Yes, Debbie, I will have the Hostess sets at the retreat. All of the stamps, every one of the Hostess sets for that matter, will be at the retreat. And if there's any exclusive Hostess sets available in the holiday catalog, those will also be at the retreat as well. Another soft little card. One of the things that you're going to learn very quickly is that the circle punches are going to be your friend, or the layering circles will as well. Yes, the daisy punch paper is an absolute must-have. And then another fun, elegant card for you. This one, you can probably see really well, has the acetate behind it. So, and then one more before we start stamping together. I've got a friend that's got a wedding coming up, and it's kind of got that rustic, shabby chic vibe to it. So I thought that this would be a really sweet and perfect wedding card. And just a little touch of lace on one side. And it's justified over all the way on the other side. I've been trying to play with shifting left, shifting right, moving things up, moving things down. In corners, not always smack dab in the middle. So kind of playing around just a little bit. So hopefully they'll love this card. And this little element here I'll talk to you about in just a second. And then one more for you, because we do have the kitchen one. Now, I guarantee, though, that this is something that you will never see me do. I do not cook. I do not bake. So if you ever get anything from my kitchen, it's probably going to be a hand-me-down of a kitchen tool or something like that. But look how sweet that is. And right now, you're going to want to stock up on these white boxes on the retiring list. I love them because they have that sweet little sleeve. Let me see if I can pull it. that just comes off and then you can get to the box. But this pairs the From the Kitchen with the Sweet Little Baker. Well, we won't put him back on yet. And the Birthday Memories. How much fun is that? So for those of you that do baking, do bread, do cookies, especially around the holidays, this is going to be a sweet pairing, and you're going to love that From My Kitchen. And then you're just able to punch out sweet little labels and things like that. So some fun stuff. So I'm going to tip the camera down. So for those of you that get a little motion sickness, close your eyes for just a second, but I'm going to tip it down so that you can see the workspace in front of me, and we're going to make 5 cards together. So hang on a second as I tip it down. And I am going to sit. You're going to get to look at the top of my head. Well, not quite the top of my head. That's okay. You don't need to see that. What you need to see are the projects that we're going to be working with. And again, just a reminder for those that might be joining us late, this is what we're working with, the Label Me Pretty stamp set, and it's coordinating punch. So let's start first. And the first card I have up that we are going to work on together is we're going to go back and we're going to make this card right here. For this card, what I have is I have a lengthwise cut of the Lemon Lime Twist. So it is 4 1/4 by 11 inches long. We can go ahead and normally you would score it. I just don't want to get the big handle out. And we're just going to take our bone folder and we'll give it a nice crease. And we can set that aside. Then I have a piece of Whisper White that's cut down to 4 inches by 5 1/4. Just a little piece of lemon lime to fit over the top of that. And then from the Lots of Labels, I have gone ahead and pre-cut this image right here. So one of the first things that you're going to find that is really fun to do with these stamps, and the one that I'm working with at the moment, let me just show you real quick which one it is. You're not going to see this whole piece here, so we can use part of it. So the piece that I'm working with is designed to create the label, the full label. So when you punched it out, you would have either one of these on either end of your label. One of the things that I want to caution you about when working with this stamp, see how easy it is to pick up ink in the middle of that stamp? So you want to be careful, and you want to keep a tissue handy and close by so that you can clean that little piece out, because you don't want ink everywhere. So I have a little tissue down here, and we'll clean that center piece out. And I'm actually only going to be working with one end of this. One end is got a small little rose. Let me show this to you this way again. That pokes out a little higher. And then one is more rounded and smooth. I'm going to work with this one right now. And what I'm going to do, because that's only what I want to catch, I'm going to work with my ink pad. You can also do this with the marker. But I'm only going to catch just the end. I'm not putting it the whole way in. I just want ink on that rose. And it's very easy to do. And what I'm going to do is just stamp. And I'm just creating a border. And one of them will go a little off. But all I've done is I've just used those flowers alone to create my border. So just another way to use that stamp instead of using it as a whole piece. Now what we can do is we can go ahead. No, I don't want to do that yet. I'm not going to add it yet. Hold on a minute. Leave that sticky side down for just a minute. I need to put all the rest of my elements together. There you go. And this piece here is actually 3 inches wide. It's just enough depending on how far up in you push your flower. So you might need to adjust that. Then what I have is well, I had it. There it is. Fell under the little mini shopping cart. I have basic black baker's twine, and that is not retiring or going anywhere, which is great because it's a staple. And as I mentioned, I love how it pops. And I'm going to just go ahead and I'm sticking it to the back side first because I'm not going to tie it. And I'm just going to wrap it at least 3 times. There's 25 yards on the roll, guys. Don't be stingy with it. Use this stuff up. Remember that the more you use the stuff up, the less guilt-free shopping you have, because you don't ever have to hear yourself say, oh, I haven't even used that up, or I still have that on my shelf. So I've just wrapped it 3 times to give it a nice thick border. Now I can go ahead and adhere that piece to my folded cardstock. So we have that step right there. And then the greeting is coming from a really sweet new greeting set called Just Add Text. It's got some really neat sayings in it, some things that are just a little different than what we might have had in the past, and I like that. You've got a beautiful one that you can color, one that looks like paint. It'll go great with the crafting forever, and just a lot of mixed fonts in that. So that's the greeting that we're working with, and in just basic black to tie it all together. And we'll put that down. And in this case, I raised it up with dimensionals. And then the bow was tied afterwards and added on with a glue dot. So that's your first card. And this one happens to say, next time you think of wonderful things, don't forget to count yourself. So really sweet one there. Okay, and I'm betting it's already backwards. I've just realized that I forgot to hit the reverse button, the mirroring button, so I'm sure you guys are seeing these backwards, and I apologize that you're seeing them backwards. So what you're going to want to do is make sure that you visit my blog to see all of the images and things like that. So the next card that we're going to make together is this beautiful daisy. And again, real simple cards. So let's go ahead, and you've got another lengthwise cut. I'm still kind of in that like cutting them lengthwise phase right now. Maybe I'll outgrow it, guys. So again, 11 inches by 4 1/4. We'll fold that in half. And then that beautiful daisy paper. This is the reverse side. We're going to use that paper in a minute. But isn't that just so, so pretty? And this one we can go ahead and just adhere that down. And then what I have is a piece of olive, another thing that I've done lately. It's funny how as crafters you go through phases where you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't torn paper in forever. And now I'm in a tearing phase because you forget how much fun that rough edges and things like that. Or you'll go through an embossing phase, or you'll go through a watercolor phase. And so I'm just going to tear this towards me. And what I want is I tore it wide enough because I want to be able to wrap some linen thread around it just a few times. And I store my things like my linen thread, my, what do you want to call them, like the glitter embellishments, your rhinestones, your pearls. I store all of mine in our clear stamp cases. The reason being is our clear stamp cases are the same size as DVD cases, and then you can just buy a nice DVD stand and slide them all in. This one does have a label that was created in my digital studio. I mentioned the other day that this is actually coming out, and I'm just having little labels printed. You can already see this one here on the side that says linen thread, because that way I can see what's in the inside of it. But this one has a special extra tip that I want to share with you. And again, I did share this on the Remarkably Fast video the other day, but just for those of you who may have missed it, this is a magnetic business card. They're self-adhesive. They're designed that you can put your paper right on it. And I keep it right inside the lid, and then I've got some thicker embroidery type needles that have the larger hole on them so that I can put linen thread right through the opening. If you don't want to run out and buy a whole stack of magnetic business cards, if you have magnetic sheets around, just put some tear and tape on them and then stick them on the inside, and then your needle will stick right to them. So just a little tip for you, actually a couple of tips, the magnetic tape as well as storaging ideas for you. So I'm going to run some adhesive along the back of my torn to get back to what we were working on. Stick the end of my linen thread down. And again, guys, there's lots of yardage on that linen thread. Wrap it 2, 3, 4 times. Give it a full look. Don't skimp out. You're making a card for somebody that you like, so don't be skimpy there. And so, oops, okay. Wouldn't look the same with one skinny little piece, okay? And now we've got the daisy punch pieces. And you could choose to stamp these with the daisy stamp to give it a little bit more depth, and I'll show you that on the other sample in a minute. And to put these together, just a little adhesive in the center. And what you're going to do is you're just going to I just set them down so that they kind of overlap and all the little air is filled in. And then you can just start to work it with your bone folder, kind of just shape it just a little bit I like to hold on to the center real tight so that I don't pull any petals off of the center. You know, the whole he loves me not thing. I don't want that to happen. So we've got it shaped a little bit. And now I can go ahead and let's lay these layers down. Let's go ahead and put this one down on the card. And we can put our flowers down. You really want to get a lot of adhesive in there. And then on a, did I bring a scrap piece of white paper? Yes, I have one here. Well, not there. Hold on. There's a scrap piece that I can use. We're going to take, there's a greeting in here that says thank you for caring. And I love that greeting. And we're going to pick Old Olive. Okay, no, we're not going to pick Old Olive because it's not here. If I had Old Olive, we would pick Old Olive and we would add the center of our flower to this card here. Okay, but I don't have Old Olive. Let's just pick a color just because I have it. Let's just do black, just at least so you can see it. Oh, I know what happened. I grabbed it last minute. I had an idea in my head while I was waiting for the video to start and I went running to do it. So your 1 1/4 inch is going to be the most basic of the circles that you're going to want when you're working with the Label Me Pretty set. It does cut circles out that are just the right size for in the center of the label, as you can see here. But you're also going to then want the 1 3/4, 1 3/8. You're going to want all of them because they're all going to work and layer. So your circle punches are going to be a great addition. You can also see here where I used an olive oval. So there's going to be lots of different options. So lots of things that you're going to want. And in this case, just pretend like this is Old Olive. I'm not going to glue it down because I want to add Old Olive. But then you have your thank you for caring in the center of your flower. And I tried it with just one daisy, and again, it just didn't look right. So we just made a really pretty full flower with that daisy. Okay, so that's that project. So now let's look at another fun, and this one's going to give you a great example of all of the, what I want to say, the different punches and things like that and how they work. So this card happens to be this one right here. And so for this project, what you have, and I didn't cut it lengthwise, aren't you excited? So you have your crumb cake, you have your Whisper White, and then you have elements of paper from the floral paper that's in the end colors, and this is the pretty powder pink. So I wanted something really soft, and I've always loved how the soft pinks go with crumb cake. I think it's just a really just sweet, soft look that you have. And then you would have, and the quarter sheet is actually for the inside of the card because we want to be able to write our messages really nice. So there you go. I did go ahead and take a stack of Whisper White cardstock and I cut it down to 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I have a whole stack just ready to go to insert inside of my cards and things like that. So that step is already done, and I just have them in a little box handy on my crafting table, and I can just pull those quarter sheets when I need them. In addition, it's the size that I use on the front of cards a lot, so it's not going to go to waste at all. Okay. Let's stop and refill for a minute. Got to reload. It's so weird knowing that you guys are all out there and that I'm here because when it gets quiet, when I take a minute to kind of focus on what I'm doing, it gets really quiet. But yet I know all of you are out there, and it feels like I should be talking and hearing your voices and things like I do when I'm at live events, when people are chatting and things like that. So we've got, this one is about 4 inches by 3, and then 4 inches by about 2 inches. Those are nice cuts because they'll give you equal cuts out of your 12 by 12. Then we have the 1 3/4 inch circle. We have the 1 3/8 inch circle. We have the 1 1/4 circle, and then we've gone ahead and done the punch. Now again, just like with the other one that I showed you, when you work with these punches, see how there's a little ink right there? You've got to be really careful, and so you want to keep that tissue handy to clean that out. Now in this case, I'm not worried about that little ink smudge because I'm going to be covering it with circles. But if you were going to be wanting to put a greeting right there, you don't want that smudge. So you want to be careful, and you want to make sure after you've inked it up that you look in that center there to make sure there's no ink. In addition, you don't want to be killing spiders, okay? Our foam pads are great. You got this nice little gentle touch on them. Our old pads, yes, a lot of times I used to joke about, you know, smushing spiders and things like that. Not with these, okay? There's no ugly bugs that we need to kill. We don't need to be pressing that hard. So just be careful about that ink. And then to layer this, let me just start here for a second. And we're going to put the powder pink circle. And then we're going to put our label. And then our greeting. And at any time you could dimensionalize these. So we have this. And now what I want to do is I want to put a little bit of linen thread behind it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely cover this circle. And I'm going to take some of my linen thread, and there's not enough on here to save at this point on the thing. And I'm going to put them around like 3 fingers. And just however many loops that you want to do. Kind of get a little loose with them. And you can either at this point take another piece and tie it off if you want. But in this case, because I have this circle, I'm going to smush that ribbon down into that adhesive. And then I'm just going to kind of fuss with it just a little bit. And the hard part with this is that there's no real quote-unquote look. There's no exact look. And so you could fuss your heart out with this, trying to get all the pieces just where you want them to be, but I just kind of smush it into the ink. Make sure that none of the tails are showing. But you just kind of smush it in and smush it around on there. And what you end up with is this pretty simple, clean card. And you are the best. All of you guys are the best. Thanks for watching tonight. Okay, so now let's take a look at how easy another project can be. You can see linen thread is one of the things that I absolutely adore. So now this is the card that is beyond easy. What this card uses is one piece of designer series paper that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I do have this cut lengthwise again, sorry guys. And it's 11 inches by 4 1/4. That's it. That's all we're using on this project. Again, sometimes simple looks great. Sometimes simple is elegant. No, Monica, I didn't change. They all the aprons had different in colors on them. So some of us got berry blast, some got fresh fig, some got lemon lime, but they all were different. So no, I didn't change the ribbon on my apron. I wish it was lemon lime twist. I mean, I love this. It's one of my favorite gifts that we've gotten in a long time, but I'm such a fan of lemon lime twists. But you know what? I probably could change my ribbon if I wanted to. I think I know where I can get ribbon. Although I think this is a little bit wider and heavier than our ribbon. So I just might have to sew some up back to back. Okay, so back to our project here. What we're going to do, hey Jill, you finally recovered from your weekend with Lori. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just punch this out. And I just inserted it till it couldn't go any further. Just wanted it up a little ways, not at the very bottom. So this is what we have here. And then I'm going to lay it on my cardstock. I'm not going to adhere it or do anything like that. And I have the stamp that says Happy Birthday with the flowers around it. And we'll open up our basic black pad. And we're going to ink it up really good. And because, you know, it's a clear mount stamp, it means I can see through it. And I'm going to just make sure I have my paper. And I'm just going to aim right through the hole. Now, I know some of you have your Stampin' Misties and all that, and that would be a perfect tool for this project if you happen to have one of those. So what I did was I just aimed right through the hole, and I was able to hit it. So then the way that you're going to finish that is you're going to then go ahead and take your time coloring. And then in this case, I also raised it up. We have these great things called foam strips, nice long strips on the end. And that's going to give you just a really sweet, clean card without all the extra wows and embellishments. Could I add a few little dots around it with the enamel shapes or with our new glitter dots and things like that? Absolutely. But again, sometimes you also just need that clean and simple card. And so that's what this one is for you. Again, just 2 pieces of paper, punch the hole, aim for it, and you're good to go. So then for our final project, this is the one that I want to show you. This was my aha, like, you ever have that like light bulb moment and you're like, oh my God, that's so cool. I'm so excited about that idea. So we're going to use a lot of elements for this card. So what you have, let's work with it. And it's a fun color combination that I think is really rich and just has a really elegant feel to it. And what I'm working with is for color wise, basic gray and the new fresh fig. And I just think that they look really, really good together. And then you add that little bit of white and it just is a nice, elegant. And then our fancy foil, so you're going to have that silver in there. And it just so happens that the paper from Eastern Palace has fresh fig as part of the color for that. Okay, so back to a traditional half sheet of cardstock. So you've got 8.5 by 5.5 there. We'll go ahead and we'll fold them. And I've lost my bone folder on the table. Surprise, surprise, surprise. So that's our first piece. Now we need to add the acetate first. Now, part of the acetate in the middle is not going to be seen. So that's where I'm just going to put a couple of rows of adhesive, is right smack dab in the middle. And I'm not worried about securing these ends up here. The whole card, there will be enough weight on the thought that I'm not worried about these, okay, coming apart. But I hid the adhesive in the middle because that's what I'm going to be layering on. So let's go back to, and this is just a little scrap. This border here is created with the scallop from the seasonal framelits. I love that. That piece alone will sell those framelits. You guys are going to want those like, oh my gosh, just for this scallop here. Okay. And so what I figured out is what I showed you guys earlier. Let's use the rag down here and clean this off and grab a block. This is the image again with the roses and the flowers on it. And I'm going to be specifically using this one, not the one that kind of pokes out a little pointier, the one that's more rounded. And I have our fresh fig ink. And I'm going to take another scrap piece of paper, it doesn't matter what kind. And I'm going to lay this down just because this time I want to be extra careful that I'm not getting any ink. So I'm just going to lay a little scrap piece of paper. And again, though, I'm just going to tap right on the edge. I'm not moving my stamp in any further than I need to. And again, you're not pushing hard, no killing spiders. And what I learned in my aha moment, it fits perfectly in a scallop border. Look at that. So not only does this one fit perfectly in the scallop border, I showed you a card earlier that had some lines in it in the scallop border. And that's from the stamp set that has Lovely Friends, I believe it is. It has the great big words like ridiculously happy, so glad we're friends. That fits right up into the edge too. So right there, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Yay, so much fun. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we'll add that to the front of the card. And remember, it had this little chopped out piece. We're not worried about that because we're going to be able to hide that with our strip of designer paper that's kind of acting as the ribbon for us. And then we have a circle. Again, you guys, you're going to want to make sure that you have circle punches. If you don't have circle punches, they're not retiring and they're going to be around, so those are definitely something that you want to be adding. And there you can see that's what the punch looks like if you're going to do it whole, if I was going to stamp it the whole way. Now, you know what? Technically, you could actually cut these images apart too if you wanted to, and I'm notorious for doing that, for cutting my stamps apart. And I could stamp, now that you see how easily they fit, I could actually just stamp them one at a time. So I have that piece. And then the very last thing, and I didn't bring my gray pad that we would do, is we would add the words, "You're the best," and then the small congratulations. No ribbon, no bling. Although I think on this card I am going to go back and I'm going to color the roses in with the wink of Stella. So great fun, 5 projects, real quick and easy. So just as a quick review for those of you that came in late, let me just show you all of the cards and the projects for tonight so that you can see them all. And we'll just show you what all they are. And some of them, again, are going to be backwards because I realized I didn't hit the mirror button. The first 3 are from Swaps. And here they've spritzed the background. You can do that just by flicking, either with our spritzer or by flicking a wet one. And then there's 2 little dots here and 1 down here. So pretty sweet, clean card using that from a swap. This was the other one that I showed. Again, see, those circle punches are going to be oh so important, guys, with this stamp set. And, or this bundle. And again, this is daisy paper. Is that fun? And then this was the one that we made tonight together with just 2 pieces of paper. Nothing more, nothing less. Clean and simple. This was another one that I showcased using the new Hostess stamp set. Ah, makes me want to go back to Amsterdam. Love, love, love. These flowers, lots of flowers. But again, those circle punches showing up there, and you're the best. This was the one that I did for a shabby chic wedding coming up. Use the oval, use the label, a little bit of lace. And in this case, it's left justified. It might look right justified to you on the camera. This was the one that we just made, showing you how to pair the scallop border and seasonal frames with Label Me Pretty. Great pairing there, guys. This was the other one that we made together using our powder pink. So you're getting to see, look at these in colors. So here you go. You've got your fresh fig, your powdered pink. We've got our berry blast, our lemon lime twist. So there's 4 of the in colors right there for you. Ah, love, love, love them. This was the other quick and simple one that we made together tonight. And then lastly, this sweet little daisy card. And I still can't find the original. I wonder if it's this one. Yep, there you go. There's the original. So you can at least see it with the olive. I'm putting a little center. And again, just another quick card, guys. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on the Facebook Live. Actually, next week we'll feature the seasonal framelits. So next Sunday, you're going to want to save the date, and next Sunday we'll be stamping with the seasonal framelits. I know it's Memorial Day weekend, and some of you will be traveling. So if you are traveling for Memorial Day, make sure that you stay safe and have a lot of fun. But I will be stamping with you guys next Sunday using the seasonal framelits bundle, the colorful seasons with the cute little chair and things like that. So thank you guys again so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate you giving me a little bit of your time. You guys are remarkable. Take care.